Hey, do life in a body you love chicks. I have an amazing guest for you guys today. This is my client, Andrea, and she's been freaking crushing it. And just from hearing her story, I know it's going to be so helpful for those of you who are on a weight loss journey, especially if you feel like nothing works anymore, you know how to lose it, but then you regain it, and rah, 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 all the things that we all experience as women trying to lose weight, right?
Mm.
So, Andrea, why don't you share with the girls really quick, what have your results been so far?
Well, I have actually lost almost 20 pounds. The getting to actual 20 seems to be a little elusive. I have gotten to about 18 and a half, and then I've lost the 20, and then I've gained a little bit back, but really, really close. I didn't have a lot to lose, so I probably was I'm right probably close to goal. In fact, when I did my blueprint session with my coach, we never really set a weight loss goal. But if I were to have set it, I think I have exceeded that goal at this point in time. And I have still been losing. So I feel like I just want to continue on and see where I can get to. So I have not been at this weight like since I've been in high school. So, lost a lot of inches. I didn't really go back and check. And I haven't done, measurements in about a month now and stuff, but I can really see the difference in inches lost in the sculpting on arms and legs and stuff like that. So my body fat has dropped about 5 percentage points. I was in the obese range when I started, and now I'm down to average. It would be nice to be less than that, but I'm pretty happy that I'm no longer considered in the obese range for myself. Um, the body scale that I use measures like 13 metrics. And when I started this journey, there were 6 metrics that were not up to standard. And those include like my weight, my BMI, body fat. My skeletal muscle was actually considered in the low category. And I was high on subcutaneous fat, and also my metabolic age was higher than my actual age. And since that point in time, I have been able to bring all of those metrics into normal range. And some of them are actually even better than normal, if you will. So I have been able to raise my skeletal muscle, which was kind of important, and that kind of stuff, and then lose the fat and those things, all that. So I feel like I've been working out harder than I was. I mean, I thought I was working out harder, but then in listening to a lot of the other members and even the other coaches, I feel like I've upped my game, if you will. So I've added time in my workouts. I've also tried to make sure that I go for a walk every day, to try to get steps in. I know a lot of people are pretty, trying to really hard to get that 10,000 steps in. And while I look at that a little bit, I don't worry about that as much because I know, like, on the days when I cycle, I don't get 10,000 steps in necessarily, but I do try to be active as much as possible. I've really increased the weights that I've used. A number of years ago, I bought a weight set that had 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 pounds on it. And I never touched anything 20 or above. So the 20s and the 25s and the 30s were gathering dust on that weight bench. And like this morning when I did my workout, I used all of those. So it's really cool and fun. And my legs and arms are shaking now, but it's kind of a fun little thing to have happen, to know that you really worked out to fatigue, like they say a lot of women in my age group should do. So I think I didn't check, but I know I had a situation where I don't wear my watch to bed because my battery doesn't allow for that. It kind of peters out during the day, but one morning I put it on early, and then I just kind of lounged around in bed, and my heart rate got under 40. So it alarmed me, and that happened 3 times. I'm like, all right, I'm just getting up because obviously I'm not getting any more rest. But so, I mean, I feel like, the extra workouts that I've been doing and stuff have been helping my heart rate as well. I mean, I think my resting heart rate was always pretty good. It was probably in the 50s, but to get under 40 at any point in time, even when you're sleeping, apparently that's not good because my watch tells me that's not good.
Well, it depends on the person and why
Right.
it's low. So if it's low from conditioning, we're good. If it's low
Yeah.
from heart failure, we're not.
Yeah.
But like that's clearly not what's happening for you. So this is incredible. So you are a weight you haven't seen since high school. Like,
Yeah.
who can say that?
Mhm.
And it's not all like it's not, what am I trying to say? It's not an unstable weight loss. So,
I
like a
hope
lot of
not.
times when women get really low on the scale, they're doing it by sacrificing
Hmm.
muscle, but you've actually done the opposite. You've not only dropped your weight, but you've dropped it from fat alone and increased your muscle mass. And
Yes.
that's the real MVP of weight loss. It's not just a lower number on the scale, right? And so
Right.
that's incredible. What things had you tried? Like, what did this look like for you before you joined Keep It Off Academy?
I'd done a number of programs, most of them focused on some kind of a sacrifice, obviously, where you're basically cutting calories. One of them was a program that was basically kind of a precursor, I think, of it as a precursor to like an intermittent fasting, because I didn't eat anything, all morning until lunch. So lunchtime was my first meal. And I had some, oh, I don't know. It was a beverage that we drank in the morning that had, I think, some sugar in it, some kind of glucose in it to kind of get you through the morning. And I lost a lot of weight on that. I was pretty happy with what I had done. But then once I started eating 3 squares again, I pretty much gained all of that back. But and I did try intermittent fasting, and I found that I did okay on that. But again, once I started eating what I would consider normally kind of a 3 square meals, then I gained all of that back as well. So, all of those other things that I tried, I think didn't, I mean, they worked, but then obviously when I stopped doing them, um, I gained all that weight back, just like you've talked about. And so, um, it was hard for me to see all that work that I had put in kind of go to waste. And then, like you said, a lot of times I gained more weight back, and then that was really frustrating. So, I, it was nice to come into a program where you're really focusing on eating real food and working out and trying to build muscle at the same time as you're losing the weight, trying to lose the weight, so that hopefully you're again losing the body fat and not sacrificing muscle at the same time. Because I'm sure during some of those other programs, I'm sure I lost muscle, and that's probably partly why when I started Keep It Off Academy, my skeletal muscle was low.
Yeah, which is really common. Most women who have dieted basically ever and they haven't been doing strength training, they're usually under muscled. Like it's a very, and that's why we feel like our metabolism is so slow because we
Hmm.
don't have any freaking muscle left. And
Yeah.
then every diet just makes it worse. So, what do you think has made this more like sustainable for you, realistic for you? Like, are you concerned about putting the weight back on this time?
Well, to answer your last question first, yes, I am concerned about that. I'm hopeful that Keep It Up Academy will give me the right tools to do maintenance. That's one of the things that I really stressed at the beginning of every other program that I did was I really need help with maintenance. I can lose the weight, but I can't keep it off. Truly can't keep it off. And so, that's obviously a concern of mine, but I'm hopeful that I have the time and the right resources, to be able to do maintenance, just like I've been able to lose the weight. So, why is this different than any other program? Um, I don't know. I mean, I think a couple of things. One is I think the point in my life that I'm at, I'm postmenopausal, so I don't have to worry about menstrual ups and downs and that kind of stuff. So that's one thing that I haven't had to worry about messing with my brain. Also, I think I'm just at a point in my life where, I don't have kids to take care of anymore. I'm not working full time outside the home any longer. So, I think it was a good point in time where I could actually focus on me. And so that part was nice as is nice as well. Also, I just think that when I listened to you and the other coaches talk, I mean, it just all really resonated with me. It just all seemed to make sense what you guys were saying, what I needed to do, how to do it, lift heavy, get your protein in, try to get your fiber in, just all those things. And eating real foods, I think, makes a huge difference. There are a lot of programs which I always shied away from where you have to eat their food. And I always wonder, well, what's in their food that you have to have that you can't get at the grocery store? And if I'm eating that, plus I'm spending more money eating their food, and then when I go to real food, how am I going to sustain that weight loss if I'm, that kind of thing. So, and even though I'm in a calorie deficit, under this program, I really don't feel like I'm missing a lot. I mean, I feel like the protein is so high, and I knew before I started this that I needed to eat more protein. I just didn't really know how. And I feel like this program has really given me those tools. Because when people would say, "Oh, you need to eat 100 calories of protein," and I would look at what I ate, and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm anywhere close to 100. And now I'm eating 130 in a day, and sometimes even exceeding that. And I just feel like I would have had no way to figure out how to do that, even though, on Facebook and everywhere, it feels like you can get ideas of, I mean, everyone tells you what the high protein foods are, but putting them together, I think, is the hard part, of how to do that. So, because I can eat chicken all day, but I still don't feel like I'm going to get to my 130 grams of protein in a day.
Because you're like, how
So,
much chicken am I going to eat
I know.
before I'm sick of chicken?
And I like chicken, but you get tired of chicken, So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I just feel like I've been given all the right tools in this program to succeed, and the coaching has been great. So, I just feel like it's been a great program.
Yeah, I think you hit something that's really important is like we know pieces of what to do because it is all over the internet, right? Part of it is knowing, yeah, but what's even true? So it's like, should I be intermittent fasting? Should I not be intermittent fasting? Should
Hmm.
I be doing cardio? Should I not be doing cardio? How much protein should I be eating?
Hmm.
But even once you decide, okay, this is what scientifically makes sense. I need more protein, for example. The how is the part where we get stuck in our head
Hmm.
because it's like, okay, so you got to get protein. Cool, but you do still need fiber and carbs and fat and all these other things. And it's like, it makes sense, but also, how do I pull this together as a plate of food that I would normally eat so it doesn't feel like diet food? Because, like, something that you said is like, you're in a calorie deficit or else you wouldn't be losing weight. So you're in a calorie deficit, but it doesn't feel very restrictive because you're eating normal stuff that you would eat anyways. We just change the portions of things around so that it matches what your body needs. And so it's like so simple, yet can be so elusive if you're not used to doing this.
Yep.
Like, okay, so here's how I know you're not going to regain it. So Andrea doesn't know this yet, you guys, because she's not there yet. She's like, she's got to her goal. Now we got to figure out how to maintain it, right? Here's the difference. You guys see me posting about people who lost weight like 5 years ago and they've kept it off, right? And it's like, well, how? Because did you hear what Andrea just described? She's eating real food. She's eating food she likes. Andrea, do you plan to stop eating the way that you've been taught how to eat here?
No.
Why?
I figure I will probably need to eat this number of grams of protein, for example, for the rest of my life if I want to stay, and maintain what I have done so far. So, no.
Yeah. And like the eating structure and the things that you're eating. So beyond just the protein, but like when you look at your plate of food that you eat on a normal basis, are you like, God, I can't wait until the day I don't have to eat this trash anymore? Or are you like, This is just normal food. I'll just keep eating like this.
No, I've actually enjoyed, I mean, I've enjoyed the food that I've eaten. I think that's why I've been able to stick with it for the 5+ months that I've been working on it, is because I am enjoying the food. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have been able to stick with it this long. Sorry,
Okay,
just
so
being real.
no, yeah, you know me, Andrea, and everybody who's listening. I'm a foodie. If you guys
Yeah.
watched please don't go watch my Facebook this weekend. It was literally me just posting food, food, food. Like we just were foodies all weekend. So I'm with you. If it sucks food wise, I'm just not in. When you did like your intermittent fasting stuff or whatever things you had done before, could you usually stick with it for 5 months?
I don't know if I stuck with any of them for that long.
Okay, what was your normal? Like a couple of months, 3 months, a
Yeah,
couple
I mean,
weeks?
I would say probably around 3 to 4 months, and then I got tired of it, and I'm like, "Where's the damn pizza?"
Yeah. Okay, so you've already made it past your normal falling off point. You're doing it eating more food than you typically do, or at least more meals than you typically do, with more enjoyable food than you normally have, and you're lower
hmm
than you've ever been,
hmm And
with
I've
more
had,
muscle.
yeah, and I've had days, obviously, where I don't know if you want to call it falling off the wagon, but I mean, like I started at Thanksgiving, so I had Thanksgiving in there. I had Christmas in there. I had Easter in there. I went to a concert on one day. I can't remember. I'd been out with friends. I mean, I don't do this every day. I don't do it maybe even every week. And my coach has tried to push me to eat out more often because she's like, and I don't feel comfortable doing it because I'm always afraid I'm going to eat the wrong things or eat too much. But with AI tools and everything, you can, if you plan ahead and you know where you're going and stuff, you can kind of plan your meals ahead of time and stuff like that. But it hasn't been all restriction, 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 and no fun. I mean, I've been able to do some of the fun things too during that time period. So
So, and then I love everything about what you just said. There's so much good stuff in there. My coach tries to get me to go out, eat more in restaurants and have more fun. But what you just described is like you feel like you can live like this.
hmm
That's what I'm hearing you say.
yes.
So there's the difference, you guys. Yeah, if you guys like everybody says I want to lose weight and not regain it. And that's like literally the only way to do that is to lose it doing something you plan to do forever. And the trap that we fall into is like we'll pick something that's restrictive, but it's like something we kind of like. So for me, keto. I freaking loved keto. Like, who doesn't want to lose weight eating bacon and cheese? Hello. It's
Right.
amazing. And I like the food. So of anything restrictive, that's what I could stick to the longest. So it gave me this illusion that this is a sustainable thing for me to do. But the reality is like, but I am going to have bread at some point. I love bread. I love pasta. I love ice
Mhm.
cream. So I wasn't going to do it forever. I could do it for a longer time period, but it wasn't going to be forever. And it's like, if it's not going to be forever, what is the point? You will regain it. And but what you're explaining is like, you like what you're doing. You like your workouts. I mean, at least you like them enough to do them. Who really likes working out? Some freaks, but the rest of us are doing it because we like the way it makes our body look.
Right.
So you're getting in workouts that make sense for you, that you have time to do, that your body is tolerating, and you like your food. And so it's like, in the way that we're doing it with this very subtle calorie deficit, we're also not crashing your metabolism, which is really, really important for postmenopausal women. You can't be so aggressive that your metabolism tanks because then if you have to eat like a bird, good luck. Like we're
Mhm.
encouraging you to go out into restaurants because we're like, we want you to see that, like, look, you can do this. So that's why I'm not worried about you regaining it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
We'll
Uh,
we'll talk later.
yeah. Well, and we'll keep the training wheels on
Yeah,
until you feel like, oof, yeah, I've got this.
good
But
deal.
no, I mean, you're doing amazing. You're putting in the work. Maybe it doesn't feel like as much work, but it is still work. Like, let's not kid. Even sustainable, it's still work.
hmm Yeah. It's mostly just been a test of patience, I think. I mean, for me, I have seen pretty consistent, weight loss, and that's good. But there have been weeks that I haven't had any weight loss. Like this last week was what I want an example of that. And you just go, what did I do? I mean, like, I feel like I did like all the things and yet still. So, but I know as you get closer to your goal, it gets harder to lose weight. And maybe I'm at that point. Maybe that's as far as I'm going to go. But, again, I'm pretty happy with everything I've done so far. And, yes, that would be nice to look like a 30 some year old swimsuit model, but that's probably not really in my cards anyways.
I mean, girl, we'll get you as strong and lean and fit as you choose to be. There's trade-offs though. And so it's
Right.
like, well, I could be leaner. I know how to be leaner, but I'm like, I don't always want to do what comes with it. Sometimes I'm in
Hmm.
the mood that I want to go harder and get leaner. So I
Yeah.
do it.
Yep.
And sometimes I'm in the mood where I'm like, I'm just really content where I'm at and have other things that I'm focusing on. That's the wonderful thing about like when you really understand how to fuel your body appropriately, which is kind of what I'm hearing you say you learned, Andrea. It was like you knew, but you didn't know how to like pull it into your life,
Hmm.
like the actual nutritional components.
Yep.
But it's like once you know that, you can go as aggressive or not as you want to with how lean you want to get. So it's like if you're comfortable in your body right now, awesome, amazing. I love that. Let's just stop. Let's just put you right into maintenance. But if you're like, now or down the road, you're like, I just want to see if I can get leaner. Well, the answer is you can.
Hmm.
It's just, do you want to? And it's
Yeah.
that's what I like is like you having the choice.
Hmm. And that's what I'm hoping too is that I have the tools. And so if I decide, hey, I'm ready to kind of quit and and go into maintenance and figure out how that works, and then 6 months down the road, maybe I want to try to lose 5 or 10 more pounds and just kind of see how that goes. So,
Yeah, you can go through phases where you're like, I feel like I've lost all the fat I want to lose, but I want more muscle. Okay,
hmm.
cool. We'll talk about what that looks like. If you're like, no, my muscle's adequate and I want to lose more belly fat. Okay, cool. We'll talk about what, but there's always something you can do and it's your choice. I feel like women feel very out of control of their bodies once we start going through menopause. We're like, I don't understand what's happening. Things that used to work aren't working. Do I really have to just eat one meal a day in order
Hmm.
to, and it's like, no, 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 no. Let's like get your metabolism happy, show you what real nutrition looks like and how to do it. And that like puts you back in the driver's seat. Good. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing this. Is there anything that this is a random question, so if you don't have anything, it's fine. But like for women who are listening to this, who are where you were before,
Where was I
I can
before?
lose weight, but it always comes back. This is frustrating. What the hell is going on? Like, what advice would you have to them if they're on the fence about joining Keep It Off Academy? Because I know
Yeah.
didn't you say that you were like really reluctant to join? And then even after you did, you were like, what did I just do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I listened to, well, I did the 5 day, sorry, 5 day metabolic reset. And again, I just as I was listening to you and or other coaches talk during that time, it's just everything really spoke to me and it was like it all really made sense. And I don't think I lost anything, in terms of pounds or inches during that 5 day period, but I didn't really expect to either, but it just really kind of set the tone. And then I met with you individually and you were trying to get me to sign up for the academy. And I was like, holy cow, who is this person that I just met on Facebook and I don't know her and nobody else that I have ever talked to knows her. So like, I feel like it was a big risk to take to join up with somebody that you've only ever met on Facebook. And so, and after I signed up, I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? And I'm like, and now I'm so glad that I did that. It's been a great move for me. I probably was not at my heaviest that I've ever been when I started, but I knew I was creeping that direction and I knew I needed to do something, but I just wasn't, I think you got to get in the right mindset. You got to be ready for it. And I just wasn't quite ready for it. And then I retired in August of last year. And so this hit about, well, just right before Thanksgiving. And I was just like, I need to do something. So I'm going to try this and see how it goes. And it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. So,
I love that. I That's a really key thing too, is you do have to be mentally ready to do it. And that's why I like to do those strategy sessions with people before they sign up. So I can like paint a realistic picture of like, okay, this is how this is going to go. Like,
Hmm.
are you mentally on board for this or not? It doesn't mean that you have to be ready to be perfect. It surely does not mean that everything has to be in order in your life. So, like for Andrea, yes, she was retired and she had more
Yeah.
time, and all of those things are great. But Andrea also joined right before Thanksgiving, you guys. Did you catch
Hmm.
that? Like,
Yes,
so
and
it was
I
like,
wasn't really very happy with that time period, but it was like, well, if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? I'm probably just going to postpone and then still not do it for another 6 months. So,
yeah, because we have this idea built up in our head that like future self has a better set of circumstances than we currently have. Like moms with young kids think when the kids start wiping their own butt. But then they don't realize that like then they become teenagers and you have to drive them around everywhere. And then you're like, well, when the kids go away to college, and you're like, oh yeah, but now they're like sucking the life out of my bank account because they're in college, and my
mhm,
aging parents need me to drive them around everywhere. And it's like there's literally always something. There's holidays.
mhm.
The truth is you have to learn how to navigate it through all those things, right? So I love that you joined before the holidays. I always say every year at that time of year, and I'm not kidding, that it's my favorite time to start Women in the Keep It Off Academy because it teaches you how to enjoy the holidays without feeling super restricted, but also without just blowing it and gaining weight like most people do. And when
Mhm.
you know how to do it through the holidays and you know how to do it through vacations and you know how to do it through life stressors, that's a part of maintaining weight loss. You have to know how to do it in every aspect of whatever your real life looks like. So I love that you joined right before Thanksgiving.
It
And
worked.
I'm, yeah, it worked out just great. See? Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on. I know this is like a really weird thing to do. And just for the listeners, so you know, Andrea gets nothing, no sort of kickback for
This
doing
is
this.
not a paid testimonial.
This is not a paid
Not a paid
testimonial.
actor.
She's literally doing this out of the kindness of her heart because I guess I shouldn't say why, but my assumption is because she knows what it's like to be in your shoes and probably wishes that she had something like this earlier on instead of repeating all of the diety things. And so we're just trying to like spread the word and show you guys like, look, you can take back control of your body. You're not going to get there through dieting. So you got to take a chance on building actual sustainable habits, getting whatever tools it is that you need, whatever resources you need to like get the job done. Cool. Any closing remarks, Andrea?
Nope, nothing.
All right. Thank you so, so much for being on. I know our listeners are going to love this, and I will see you on one of our next coaching calls.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.